You may know him first and foremost as an astronaut, or perhaps you're lucky enough to know him from the career he had before and after he traveled to space as a physician practicing in Southern Ontario. Dr. Dave Williams has also served as the president and CEO of South Lake Regional Health Center in Newmarket, but that's just another stop in his remarkable journey. He chronicles it all in his new book, Defying Limits, Lessons from the Edge of the Universe. And we're pleased to welcome Dr. Dave Williams to our studio. It's so nice to meet you.
Thanks very much for having me.
So we're going to go back in time a little bit, back to 1998, April 17th, and we're going to take a look at the launch of your first shuttle mission aboard Columbia. Sheldon, please roll.
T-minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. Go from 8 engine start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Columbia on a mission expanding our knowledge and understanding of the human nervous system.
Roger, roll, Columbia.
Columbia into the roll, placing the shuttle in a heads-down, wings-level position for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit.
I'm sure you've looked at the footage many, many times, and obviously you were there. But looking back on that time, on that day, what stands out most in your mind?
It was so exciting. You know, your first launch, you really have no idea what to expect. Even though you've trained for years for this moment, the first time you ride on top of a rocket, it's quite an experience.
On top of being an astronaut, you're also a doctor. Has that been a good fit for you?
You know, it was great because I got a chance to practice medicine in space as a crew medical officer there for my crewmates if they needed me. I was also a neuroscientist researcher in space on Neurolab, that space flight we just watched. And that was incredible because I trained as a neuroscientist in graduate school.
And there's a story of before you get selected to go on your first mission, and protocol is that you are supposed to be, there's a lot of things that you have to go through, and one of them is you have to be under quarantine. And while you're at home one night, someone knocks on the door. It's your neighbor. Something's happening to their daughter. Can you tell us that story?
I was sitting at the dinner table studying, and I've got all these notes spread out everywhere. The doorbell rings. I'm wearing a T-shirt and jeans, so I go up to the door, and I open the door, and it was one of my neighbors said, "Do you know CPR?" And I'm thinking, this isn't a survey. And I said, "Yes, I'm an emergency physician." And they said, "Can you come with me, please?" So we go running down the street, and in the driveway, it was at nighttime, so it was lit up only by lights. I could see this body on the driveway, and as I come running closer, I realize people are trying to do CPR. And as I get right beside the individual, it was a young girl, and she was blue. She had not been breathing, so she was what we call cyanotic. And I got down on my hands and knees, realized that she wasn't breathing. I had no equipment at all. So I just had to basically go ahead and start resuscitating her. And I remember thinking, oh, the flight surgeons are going to love this, but we got to do what we got to do. And I started doing mouth-to-mouth respiration, immediately made the diagnosis. She had a respiratory arrest following a really bad asthma attack, and we were able to resuscitate her. The paramedics arrived. We intubated her and got intravenous's going and got her to the hospital, and she survived the experience.
You saved her life. But there's more to that story because at that moment, you weren't supposed to be around anybody. You're supposed to be under quarantine. It could have jeopardized your opportunity to go to space.
Well, you know, it would have been bad if she had had pneumonia or something and then I caught that. That would have been a problem for us. The way it was, it all worked out really well. And of course, you know, as a physician, we have to do the right things at times like that. And there was no question. I mean, I thought about it for a nanosecond saying, oh, well, we're just going to do this. And I'm sure like everything, it'll work out. I spoke to my flight surgeon about it the next day. He was fine. And of course, I didn't have any problems at all when I finally went into quarantine.
And that young lady lived.
She did.
Thanks to you and the help of the paramedics.
Yeah.
But you also, later on, she comes to thank you.
Yeah.
What did she say to you?
That was a remarkable experience because as an emergency physician, I generally don't tend to see my patients repeatedly. Occasionally that happens, but certainly when you resuscitate somebody successfully, you tend not to see them again. She came, rang on the doorbell and was there with her parents and said, "Do you mind if I come inside? I just wanted to thank you." And we sat and chatted just like it is today. And she said, "It's truly remarkable what you're able to do as a doctor, just saving somebody's life with no equipment, just simply based on what you're able to do and what you know how to do." It was really kind of interesting having that discussion.
But she also said that she wanted to go into medicine thanks to you.
She did, yes. I was asking her, so what are you planning on doing? She says, well, I wasn't thinking about medicine before this, but now after this experience, I was thinking maybe I'll become a doctor as well.
And in your book, Defying Limits, you write about your time as CEO of South Lake Regional Health Center in Newmarket after you'd retired from NASA, and about a young cancer patient there. Can you tell us that story?
So as a hospital CEO, I have an opportunity to do all sorts of things, but we have an amazing team at South Lake, and our team is dedicated to providing what we call the ultimate patient experience. So I got a call one day from one of the nurses and said, Dave, I have a little unusual request for you, and I'm just wondering if you would mind coming in your flight suit. And I said, why? What's this all about? She said, well, we have a young boy, and he has cancer, and he's a palliative care patient. He wants to meet an astronaut and things. So I came in my flight suit the next day, and we spent 4 hours together. It was just a fantastic experience.
But for what I got from reading your book is that you also learned something from him. What did you learn from him?
I did. So what I learned is the opportunity to be able to connect together. If we're willing to open up, many people have said you can live a lifetime in a moment. In that 4-hour time period that we were together, we were able to share our passion for space exploration. And it was so exciting seeing the questions that he was asking about how we explore space, how we live and work in space. It was just a really incredible experience.
So he taught you something as well?
Yes.
How different were those very personal connections with patients from the ways when you were doing the work you were doing in the emergency department?
So when we work in the emergency room, we also work in a team environment. As a trauma team leader, if we have a trauma patient arrive in the emerge, and the whole team comes together, it's very much like how we approach space flight. Even when we do spacewalks, there's 2 of us outside, but it's a whole team that's supporting our effort to make sure that we're able to succeed. And that's one of the things I miss the most after having left the hospital last year, is that I don't work as much anymore in a team environment. Whether I was in space, working as an emergency physician or a hospital CEO, it's all about working together in teams of incredibly talented people to do these things.
You were a doctor. Well, I guess you're always a doctor, right? Because the knowledge doesn't go anywhere.
Always an astronaut.
Always an astronaut too, right? Aquanaut as well. But you've experienced the medical system from the point of view of a patient. How difficult was it for you to face that role reversal?
As a doctor, I've treated many, many patients. I had never really experienced being a patient until I was 50 years old and I was diagnosed with cancer. And I remember going into the hospital and they give you the gown and they say, would you put this on? It opens up in the back. I've said that thousands of times to people. So I put the gown on and I'm sitting on the stretcher and the nurse comes in and says, you must lie down. And somewhere between sitting on the stretcher and lying down, I went from being an astronaut physician to becoming a patient. And I truly understand the experience that patients go through because I've lived that experience myself. It's a time when we need to be treated with compassion, with dignity and respect because we're vulnerable. We're not at our best. That's why we're in the hospital. We need to be helped.
You also had a conversation with a nurse just before you were discharged from your surgery. What did she say?
This was a fantastic moment. So, it's day of discharge, but I still have 2 abdominal drains. I got 2 IVs. I got a catheter, all this stuff. Anyway, she comes in and she starts to take out the first intravenous and she's fairly quiet. And then she looks me directly in the eyes and says, you're a doctor, aren't you? And I said, yes, I am. Then she pauses for emphasis and says, did you learn anything while you've been in here? And I said, yes, I have. And then she said, you will remember, won't you? And I said, I promise I will remember.
What did you learn?
Yeah, I learned what it's like to be a patient. I learned what it's like to be vulnerable. I learned what it's like to have a lot of pain and have to stand up and push yourself to get back on your feet and to start exercising again. And that's something that now that I've lived through, I think I can be better as a healthcare professional.
Well, after reading your book, throughout your cancer diagnosis and your treatment, you seem to have managed to maintain a really positive attitude. What do you attribute your resilience to? Where does that come from?
When you're told you have cancer, everything you hear after the word cancer you forget initially. And it was tough. I am a physician, and yet I immediately thought I was going to die. that this was a death sentence. It took me a day or two to work through all of that. And then I realized that what I need to do is the same thing that I would do if I was advising other patients. It's let's work through this together. Let's figure this out. Let's find solutions, whatever those solutions might be. So I started reading up on the medical literature, found an incredible physician, went and had surgery, and then had to go back to the gym because I lost my astronaut medical, I lost my pilot's medical, I lost everything. And I'm starting in the gym with these really small 2-pound weights to try and get back into the shape that I was in before I had the surgery. And fortunately, I had a great trainer and helped me with that journey getting back into my normal state of health.
And you beat the cancer.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But after that, you went back to space. Considering that when you're in space, a lot of things are done to your body. At any point, did you think, did this happen because I went into space? Did this happen because I lived at the bottom of the ocean?
No, I never thought about why did I get cancer or anything like that. It is what it is. And, you know, for those who work with me in the hospital, one of my favorite sayings is it's a journey and it is what it is. There's nothing that I could do to change the fact that I have cancer. The only thing that I can do is to make sure I get the best possible treatment and try and respond appropriately. When I flew in space as a cancer survivor, I didn't tell anybody. So the question is, why did I put it in the book? And after a lot of thinking, I did put it in the book and shared this very personal medical information because I wanted to be able to share my experience of working through the diagnosis, working with teams of healthcare professionals who are there to help me to be able to get back to my shape and fortunately be able to fly in space as a cancer survivor.
And it must have meant something extra to you then the second time around, I'm thinking.
It did, yes. I fully appreciated the opportunity to live in the moment and have these amazing experiences being in space, but also have the amazing experiences on a day-to-day basis with my family and friends. And
what lessons from your time as an astronaut were you able to bring to your role as a CEO of a hospital?
So I think there are many, and all of the safety and quality things that we do in the space program we brought to South Lake, and the team did an amazing job implementing those. But more importantly, it's the value of working together collaboratively as a team to take on really tough challenges. We have tough challenges in healthcare. To take those on and do our best for our patients. And that's whether you're working in the hospital or whether you're working building the space station, it's the same thing. You take on these seemingly impossible challenges and you figure out a way to make them possible.
And right now, you've done work with medical robotics, right? Is that what you're doing right now?
No, right now I'm consulting and writing and having fun flying and things, but in the past I have done work in surgical robotics as well.
Can you tell us about some of that work?
So what's really exciting is it's changing the frontier of medicine, the technology that we use today. When I trained as a doctor, we used to make large 5-inch incisions in people's abdomen to take out their gallbladder. Now we make 1/2-inch incisions and we use a robot to help out with that procedure. So all this technology is truly transforming the way in which we deliver healthcare.
Looking back at your career as an astronaut, your time as an emergency room doctor, and as a hospital administrator, what advice have you been able to pass along to students that they might not get from another teacher or from their parents?
So I think for students, first of all, don't let other people define your dream for you. Find out where your passion is. And it's all about passion. That's why I use the word dream, because dreams are about passion and things that get you really, really excited. Go for it with everything that you have. And if you're truly doing what you love, you're going to be really, really good at it. And there will be times if you're pushing the envelope, you're going to fail. And that's okay. Learn from that experience and move on, but be able to continue to honor your dream.
And speaking of challenges, like how do people get through those challenges?
It's tough. There's absolutely no question it's tough. What we learn when we fail, what we do when we don't succeed, ultimately determines whether we will succeed. And I often look at it almost like baby steps, an inch at a time. When you're in this state of being confronted with a really, really tough challenge, when I was working through the cancer diagnosis, you're literally going from, okay, I've done this, what's the next thing I have to do? And then you do that. And it's small, little steps that take you on this journey to an incredible destination.
As long as you're moving forward.
As long as you're moving. And in fact, you know, you say forward, but as long as you're moving almost in any direction, it's being paralyzed and being stationary and not trying that's the problem. Because if you start moving in the wrong direction, you'll figure it out, and then you'll regroup and start moving in the right direction.
Is that something that students are open to hearing?
I think students are. You know, particularly students who are in their 20s, arguably the most formative decade of our lives, where they're starting off on one journey and they're wondering, is this the right journey? And am I going to have this job for the rest of my life? Probably not. I had 4 different careers when I was growing up, and now I'm 64 and I'm looking at what's next. So it never stops, and that's part of the joy of the journey.
You've been on TVO a number of times, on TVO Kids.
Yeah.
What do you like about teaching?
Working with kids is incredible because of their passion and their excitement and their curiosity. One of the best questions I ever had from one of the kids was, why is the temperature on Venus greater than the temperature on Mercury, but Mercury's closer to the sun? What a great question. These are fantastic questions. They basically indicate that kids are really curious and they're interested in science and they're interested in understanding the world around them.
Looking back on the Apollo 11 mission nearly 50 years ago already, how do you assess the importance of that moment?
That was pivotal. Arguably, Apollo was an incredible demonstration of technology. It was an incredible demonstration of the human capability to explore and to go farther and to stay into space. But also, probably of equal importance is the fact that we set eyes on the Earth from such a different perspective. And you remember those images of the Earth rising up over the lunar horizon and all those photographs that were captured in Apollo 8 and Apollo 11 and subsequent missions. And those images changed the way we think about our planet. We all began to realize this is a really small planet and we have to start taking care of our planet.
And in what ways do you think we can do that?
So I think the phrase planetary stewardship is something that we learned from those missions. And we need to start thinking about how we can collaborate globally to begin to find solutions for air pollution in one part of the world where the air pollution rises into the upper air mass and goes between continents, where we have the ocean treated like a garbage dump and garbage just thrown into the ocean. We have to change that perception that no, you can't just throw your garbage in the garbage dump in the ocean. We have to manage our trash. We have to manage how we create trash and how we manage recycling the trash itself. And that's one of the single greatest lessons of the space station, closed loop habitability, living there with technology.
What do you think we could learn if we were to go back to the moon?
So I think going back to the moon is going to help us prepare to go to Mars. And if we go to Mars, the fundamental question will be, what level of impact will we have on the surface of Mars? Will we aspire to have minimal impact? We'll have a presence, but we're not going to terraform Mars. Or will we actually think about changing Mars to make it more acceptable for humans to live on the surface of Mars? And these are tough questions that we're going to have to address as we go farther and explore space. But I do believe it's in the nature of the human species to go forward and explore our own solar system.
Dr. Williams, it's been a pleasure having you here, and thank you for writing this great book. I'm in my 40s, and now I'm trying to think of some of the dreams that I had as a kid that maybe that I can revisit, because as you said, it's never too late.
That's right. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario, helping businesses stay on the right side of change with strategic thinking, insightful decisions, and business leadership. Are you on the right side of change? Ask an Ontario CPA.